Well, our numbers show that we don't actually return to the pre-COVID-19 levels of demand until 2021. Indeed, in 2021 as a whole, we're still below the 2019 levels, but we're starting to make some progress. And as we note in the report that we just published, for gasoline and diesel, for example, by the end of 2021, we're getting pretty close to the 2019 levels. But the major drag on demand, that has been the case here in 2020 and is still the case in 2021, is the aviation sector, which remains still in a very, very deep crisis, and the fuel demand is very, very low and will stay so through 2021.
And you also talk about a recovery in the second half of 2020. It's not looking so good for Europe, but you do point to a good pickup in activity out of China. So can you flesh that out for us in a bit more detail?
Yeah, well, China, of course, was first into a very, very strict lockdown, and obviously then the first country to come out of lockdown. And we've seen a very, very V-shaped, sharp V-shaped recovery. And in the most recent months, September, October data, we've seen year-on-year growth in China, well above 500,000 barrels a day, close to 900,000 barrels a day in the most recent data. So China has recovered very, very strongly. Now, the picture in Europe, as we say in the report, is very different. And what we're seeing in Europe, and indeed in most of the OECD countries, is that the recovery, although it started off pretty well after the April and May lows, the recovery has started to run out of steam, particularly here in Europe. And in the report we just published, we're showing that demand in Europe in the fourth quarter is actually lower than it was in the third quarter. And leaving aside some seasonal factors, what that clearly shows is that the impact of COVID-19 and the lockdowns that have been imposed in reaction to it are still impacting very heavily on Europe. And just finally on this, in the last couple of reports, we've downgraded our demand estimates for the very first part of 2021 because it is fairly clear that the impact of COVID-19 is going to continue into the new year, and we may even see after the Christmas and New Year break further spiking cases and possibly more lockdown measures. So it's a very uncertain picture.